What's up guys, this is Pooka bringing you first game from the brand new Pokemon TCG Online, and this one's going to be kind of a fun game. Now, if you ever watched my stream back in the first Pokemon TCG Online, you would know that I had Bad Deck Monday, posted plenty of videos of that, and one of my biggest nemesis, nemesis overall was the one and only JWittz, who would play his Scizordos deck just to troll me, and then he would always pretty much beat all my bad decks. So, in the same vein, we are playing out a bad deck battle here between his updated Scizordos deck, as you can see that's Scyther, versus my new bad deck, which is Aggron Sableye. So, right off the bat, you will notice that he is, yes, using some older cards. It's not black and white on, it's okay. We established the ground rules for this. I think he's using nothing new or nothing old except for the Pokemon. As you can see, we're just kind of chatting at the beginning. He's saying, yeah, great job, I drew extra cards from the mulligan versus a mill deck. And sounds like a good strategy. So yeah, let's just talk about my deck. It's going to use the new Aggron from Dragon's Exalted. You're going to use the ability, discard the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, and then the whole point is to use Sableye, to Junk Hunt, to use De-Evolution Spray repeatedly, and then you can just keep using Aggron over and over and over until you finally deck them out. So this is a strategy that really doesn't work very well, but, you know, it's worth a shot. It's a bad deck for a reason, but, yeah, I mean, realistically, it's like a bad version of Durant, you know, where you would devour their whole deck. This time, you would just kind of keep evolving Aggron over and over, and you hope that they don't win by the point that you deck them out. So, in this matchup, basically I'm trying to avoid him, or avoid his Scizor Prime. If it ever gets fully powered, I just kind of give up a prize every turn, and I lose the game. So I don't want to see any Scizor Prime shenanigans with like 6 metal energy on it. That's going to be a loss for me, because he's just going to be able to heavy metal every turn and knock me out. As you can see, there's the Magikarp portion of the deck. It is Scizordos. This deck was a parody of a serious deck that someone used in the program when the original PTCGO. Someone would play a Scizordos deck, and I actually lost to it on stream once. So Josh built this deck in order to keep the tradition alive, and now we have a grudge match here for everyone to see. So as you can see, my hand is horrendous. I have 2 Super Rods, an Enhanced Hammer, a Devolution Spray, and an Aggron. And that's really not anything to work with. For this deck to work, you really need to start discarding immediately. I will get an Aggron out next turn, but after that, I don't have any options. Sableye is kind of the engine of the deck, and you can see Josh is saying, oh, this deck has so many options. Scizor, Red Gyarados, Blue Gyarados. I mean, what am I supposed to do against this? And it's a really tough deck for him to control. I mean, he's got so many powerful options at his disposal. You could use Scizor, Red Gyarados, or Blue Gyarados. So you never know what's going to come. There's even multiple Scizors, so who knows what's going to happen. Now, I do get an Aggron. I do believe the ability is called Toppling Wind or something like that. So I can go ahead and do that. And I do draw a Dark Energy, which is very fortunate. So I'll be able to Junk Hunt this turn. I don't really know what I'll be able to get back, but I do play that De-Evolution Spray. That'll let me return the Aggron to my hand, so that next turn I can just Toppling Wind again and discard 3 more cards from his deck. And eventually I am hoping to deck him out. That's going to take a while though. 3 cards at a time. He's probably got around 30 plus cards left in his deck, so that's about 10 more uses of the ability before I get to win. So really I'm just going to have to get extremely lucky somehow, somewhere down the road, between Crushing Hammers or just, I really don't know what to do. Maybe I catch or something out and end him, and he never draws the energy to retreat it. I really don't know how to approach this. This deck's main weakness is when my opponent can load up one Pokemon and just knock out everything. It's kind of what the weakness with Durant was as well. If they ever powered up like a Zekrom, or even like a huge Mewtwo would be bad, stuff like that, you'd end up actually losing just because, well, they would just knock you out every turn and you would lose before you could devour their whole deck. So this is kind of the same concept. Now here, he did end a new hand for me, so I lost that level ball and heavy ball I needed. You really need to get a bunch of errands and stuff into play immediately so you can get a whole chain of Aggrons going. Ideally, you want 2 per turn, so you can just evolve both at the start of your turn, de-evolution spray, get 2 of them back, and then you junk hunt for the 2 de-evolution spray again. Next turn you use Aggron twice again, and eventually you deck your opponent out. Unfortunately, this does not look like a good situation, but as you can see, I did discard his red Gyarados, so I'm feeling very confident after that. I took away one of his options. Now I only have to deal with the Scizor and the blue Gyarados. That's really going to make things much simpler for me. Don't have to worry about that pesky blue Gyarados. It could be the Dragon's Exalted one, or maybe the Call of Legends one, who knows. I did get an Enhanced Hammer to get rid of one of those Blend Energy. It's going to help me out quite a bit. And I'm going to de-evolution spray that Aggron. Unfortunately, I did not draw Dark Energy, so I am not able to use Junk Hunt, and I have a really bad hand. At this point, as you can see, Josh has 30 cards left in his deck. And oh no, he brought out the blue Gyarados. Since I bet you weren't expecting this. To be honest, I was just expecting the red Gyarados, but he dropped down the... Oh, it's actually a Dark Explorer's Gyarados? Is there one in that set too? I know there's one in Dragon's Exalted. Maybe DEX is Dragon's Exalted too. Who knows? Confusing set names. So now at this point, I am pretty much done for. I mean, take a look. He's got the Scizor Prime with 3 Metal Energy on it. He's got like 25 cards at least left in his deck. He's already taken 2 prizes. I don't have anything going in my board or really in my hand. And yeah, that's all I got. I can Super Rod, shuffle in the Sableye. We're going to see how I get an N from the random receiver. Really what I'm going to have to do this turn is I'm going to evolve my active Aggron, but I'm not going to de-evolve it because I want to make sure it doesn't get knocked out. I need to stall for time. And yeah, just stall for time, try to get more of a setup going. Hopefully I'll be able to get a chain of Aggrons going eventually and deck him out. And really my plan at this point is to get lucky with some super scoop-ups. Maybe I'll keep promoting an Aggron, try to get heads after I take a hit, and then keep discarding, keep taking hits, and super scoop up, and eventually I should be able to win. That's going to take quite a few heads though, and that is just kind of the situation I'm in though. What can I do about it? I don't really know. Now for Josh, what's he going to be thinking? Probably just load up the Scizor and attack. Not really much else he needs to do. If the game keeps going at this pace, I am going to lose. I go for a Super Scoop Up. That was a really big flip. If I would have gotten heads, I could have promoted a new Pokemon. And I would have saved myself giving up a prize. It's unfortunate. It's okay. And Josh says, you can't run from Scizor like that. And I just switch anyway. So apparently I can. But I would have liked to Super Scoop Up instead, unfortunately. I said, watch me. So I do get a third Aggron. Go ahead and discard 3 more cards. So this turn I discarded 6 cards. I can de-evolution spray as well. So I was streaming this live, and unfortunately my streaming program crashed. So a little bit of the game got cut off. Messed with the resolution a little bit. But overall it's okay. I don't think too much happened. I did draw a Sableye for my next turn. Basically Josh's turn, he just attached and attacked. And I drew a Sableye or something, and I drew oh, man. That might be one of the worst hands I've ever seen. I have 3 Sableyes, 2 Heavy Balls, and 2 Dark Energy. At this point, Josh has taken 3 prizes, it's about to be 4. I have an Aggron with 110 damage on it that I can't de-evolve because it's going to get knocked out if I go back down to Lairon. I need to hit a Super Scoop Up, otherwise that's just kind of going to sit there the rest of the game. My other Aggron is fully evolved, I can't even de-evolve or anything like that. He says, I can't imagine how bad that Juniper was, and yeah, I mean, he can't see it because he is on the other side, but yeah, so let's just say I have a full house. I got Sableye over Heavy Balls or Dark Energy, either one. I don't know which one's the better kicker. But anyway, at this point, what do you do in my spot? Josh still has a ton of cards left in his deck. He's got a fully powered Scizor. I don't have anything going for me. What's the plan? Well, it's gotta be Confuse Ray. As silly as it sounds, my best option to win this game will be Confuse Ray. I need to try to confuse his Scizor Prime. Hopefully he knocks himself out, and then he won't have any attackers left. I've discarded several energy with Aggron, and maybe I discarded some of his attackers as well. And if I buy enough turns, I could be able to deck him out. It's not very likely that this happens, but, you know, it's still a possibility, and it's better than just rolling over and losing. So this turn I'm going to go for a big Confuse Ray, and Josh is saying I'm just cross my fingers that your catcher is prized, otherwise I'm going to catch out his Gyarados. And there we go, I confuse his Scizor. Alright, so there's still hope. But if he flips 2 heads, I lose the game. That's pretty much all it's coming down to. He just gotta flip heads twice and not knock himself out, and he's going to win still. Meanwhile, I am stuck with a couple Sableye. At least I got 4 of those. And I said, little did you know I can just switch gears to aggro Sableye. This is not just an Aggron deck. It's an aggro Confuse Ray deck as well, as you can see here. And Josh says things just got real. And they did. I gave myself a 1% chance of winning this game now. It might be lower. And he flips. Look at that. He got a tails. Alright, so there's still hope. Not much, but there's still hope. So I'm just going to power up my Sableye army. I have more than I can actually use at this point. And at this point, I figure, well, Confuse Ray, I'm going to need 3 more Confuse Rays to really do anything. So I might as well just go for Junk Hunt. If he gets heads, I'm going to lose regardless. So I might as well try to recover my stuff and try to deck him out still. It's not a very good shot at that happening, but oh well. And Josh is saying, Scizor, you failed me. Even I can't contain his power. Yeah, he must not have gotten enough gym badges or something. He can't control that Scizor. It's disobeying him so much, actually, that he's deciding to claw himself in the face instead of me. And he says maybe he'll thank him for healing him. And apparently not, because he flips tails once again. So he's 0 for 2 on heavy metal. Or it's like metal scissors, I think that's what it's called. I think so. Either way, he flipped tails again. And he says this is not a benevolent god. He has angered the mighty Scizor. And that's that. I also had, let's see, it looks like an Aaron prized. So I've been dealing with not having those. I do hit a Super Scoop Up. And the card I drew was a Level Ball. So we're right on track, actually. Could we make a big comeback here? Down 4 prizes against a fully powered fully powered Scizor Prime. Actually, I didn't have any Aaron's prize. Sorry. I overlooked that. Anyway, at this point, all I'm going to do is continue to Junk Hunt and try to deck him out. And we'll see what happens. If I can buy like 2 more turns, I might be able to pull it off. You know, I'll have enough Aggrons going, and I'll start the de-evolution spray train again, and we will start to topple his deck over right into the discard pile. It's basically like you're cheating. You just kind of flip some cards over their deck into the discard pile, and you're like, No, man, those stay there. They hit the discard pile. Except this time you can actually do that. You're not just cheating. And I gotta say, Scizor Prime's too overpowered. The game's just balancing itself by not letting him attack. So what does Josh do from here? I mean, he's put all of his eggs into this one basket. At this point, if he knocks himself out with Scizor, I don't know what he's got as a backup plan. He doesn't have any energy on his bench Pokemon. As cool as that Gyarados is, it really doesn't do anything. It's just more of an intimidating thing than anything. He doesn't have another Scizor. If he could manage to power up a second Pokemon, I'd probably still lose. But yeah, he's only got 30 hit points left. If he gets one more Tails, he'll actually knock himself out, and I'll have a very good chance of winning. What are the odds of that? Well, they weren't very good, but we gave ourselves a chance with good old Sableye. And at this point, you just kind of have to sit back and laugh at how absurd this situation is. He was completely dominating me, as I discard his other red Gyarados. Boom. Oh yeah, two of them are in there. Anyway, yeah, you could see how horrible my situation was. I had nothing the entire game. I had no Aggrons. Well, no things I could evolve into Aggron. He had like 30 cards left in his deck, fully powered Scizor. I was down a couple prizes. And then something happened. I confused him. He flipped a bunch of tails. And all of a sudden I am in a decent position to win the game. So I'm going to Junk Hunt once again. We'll grab a De-Evolution Spray. Need those to use my Aggrons. Just grab 2 of them. Next turn I'm going to be able to discard 6 cards. So actually, this is the game-deciding turn. If he flips tails, I will win. Because I will just keep discarding his deck. I'll have 6 cards next turn. He'll draw a card. He'll have 6 cards left in his deck. I'll have 6 cards again next turn. And he will deck out. And he actually played that Sharon as well. He must be digging for a switch, I'm sure. He does play 4 switch in that deck, apparently. And if he had 2, or just 1 and an energy to retreat, this would not be an issue, and he would win the game. He'll be able to have Metal Scizor. Why do I keep saying Heavy Metal? I don't know. That was the original Scizor from Aquapolis, which is not the original Scizor at all. But the most popular Scizor was Heavy Metal from Aquapolis, I do believe. I always associate Scizor with that. This one's Metal Scissors, I'm pretty sure. And now he is up against the ropes. Will those Metal Scissors break? Because of Sableye's diamonds, he cannot cut through the diamond eyes of Sableye? Or will he just crush all of my Pokemon? Which Metal Pokemon will survive here and win this initial bad deck grudge match between myself and JWittz? We have a big decision here from Josh. Does he want to go for it? He could just retreat, but then if he does that, I will actually deck him out. And he's actually got a catcher, and he's really going all in here, folks. This probably will end the game if he gets heads. I won't have enough Aggrons to evolve. And he says he must want a bigger target, so he catches out the Lairon. And he gets another Tails! That is 4 Tails. He played a potion to heal himself to give him another shot. And he says, oh no! What are the odds of that actually happening? That's horrible. So I will actually take a prize with my deck. Somehow. And I said, yeah, you're right. He did want a bigger target. He wanted the Aggron, actually. And it looks like we are going to topple 3 more cards from his deck. And 3 more. And really, he cannot avoid the loss next turn. I actually discard his N. That would have been his only hope. We're just gonna Devo spray everything at this point. I can Super Scoop up the active. I can go for that just so I can ensure a Junk Hunt, but I don't want to get Tails. But really, all I'm gonna do is devolve all 3 of my Aggrons. Even if I do get End, I don't think it's possible for me not to draw more Aggrons. It's pretty unlikely. I should probably devolve that other one as well. Got a Heavy Ball. I can really just thin my deck at this point. Let's see. I'm going to check everything. I just want to make sure that I can't actually lose. So I'm going to play my random receiver. I'm pretty sure there aren't any supporters left. I'm just going to make sure that random receiver would actually be a dead card to draw off of an end now, because there are no supporters left. And yeah, you can see there's an Aggron, a Lairon, and a rare candy. And my one catcher is still in there. I have not drawn that yet this game. So I'm going to de-evolve that other Aggron. Heavy Ball I might as well just keep in my deck, because, well, that's one of the cards I would like to draw. I would get an Aggron with that. Probably should have just played the energy, but either way I'm going to pass. And victory is inevitable at this point, I believe. He says, now I draw the switch. And I say, well, Scizor Prime just doesn't like the new format. He much preferred the old one where he belongs. He doesn't keep up with this new age technology. All these newfangled Aggrons and such. Really aggravates him. Aggron baits him. And now, Josh, sorry man, you got really unlucky. But now it's just the power of Aggron coming through. Clearly the new age metal Pokemon. Scizor is past his prime. And now it's just time for Aggron to take over. And I guess Sableye too. And Sableye Aggron, it's the new Scizordos. That's all there is to it. So he's just going to play his last turn out. I don't think there's any way for him to not deck out anymore. There's a potential 9 cards being discarded looming in front of him. And now what's going to happen next? He draws a switch. He's going to promote that Gyarados, which is very intimidating. Just 3 energy and he'll be able to attack. And he says, I think we have a new rivalry. The Aggron Scizordos rivalry. I'm sure this will be the first of many, many games in our series here on Pokemon TCG Online. Both of us are quite addicted to this program, and we're going to play a lot more games in the future. This was a really fun one, though. I'm glad we could just kind of enjoy the game. Clearly, he got unlucky this game, but that will happen. And Josh discards his whole deck, and he says, discard that. Puts on his sunglasses, and I still try. I'm going to evolve to 3 Aggrons this turn. Topple 9 more cards, so at the start of his next game, he'll actually have to discard the top 9 cards of his deck before we even start. And he is at -9 cards. Just going to play out everything I can. I still got a Dark Energy, a Heavy Ball, and a Crushing Hammer. I can play all those. And my catcher's still in there. I would have liked to have drawn that many, many turns ago. But it's over. Somehow, someway, Sableye Aggron has defeated the mighty JWittz. And we have the start of a new rivalry in our bad deck battles. Finally, I found a deck so bad that it can actually compete with Scizor Gyarados. I'm very proud of this. Very proud of Sableye for confusing the Scizor, causing him to kill himself, because there's no other way I would have been able to take that down. My Pokemon are just so bad that I have to rely on him knocking himself out to win the game. So, that will wrap up this first match that I'm putting out there from the new Pokemon TCG Online. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, had some fun with it, and we can see that this was a much improved program from the last one. No real lag. Stuff's working a little better. There are a few bugs that we have to work out, but overall, looking a lot cooler. I like the new program. It's smoother, and it's going to be great. If you haven't tried it out yet, what are you waiting for? Go to PokemonTCG.com. Check this stuff out. It's the coolest program I've ever seen, and I'm going to be playing it a ton. I'll have a ton of videos, so look out for that. Again, thanks for watching, guys. I've been Pooka. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, subscribe to our channel, watch the live streams at twitch.tv/thetopcut. That's all I got for now, guys, and I'll see you next time.